A lot of people be saying 50 Cent is a bully, but listen, hear me out. So Rick Ross went on the podcast. He was on the podcast, Joe and Jada. Now, during this podcast, Fat Joe got to talking about something, but Fat Joe ended up saying like, yeah, like a lot of these older rappers that's washed up and ain't got no motion. Rick Ross busts out and say, yeah, like 50 Cent. And I guess Rick Ross had on this long ring on his finger, and I guess it's supposed to be worth $1 million. Now, he in the podcast, but Fat Joe tell him like, nah, that ain't who I'm talking about. We ain't about to do that. You already know Jadakiss, he over there just laughing.
50 Cent just put Rick Ross in the spotlight after the Florida rapper was seen catching a commercial flight. What started as a few photos quickly turned into a huge online conversation, with people questioning why someone known for a luxury lifestyle was flying with regular passengers. Ross moved fast to answer the jokes, saying it was simply a personal choice and nothing more. But 50 Cent wasn't convinced by that explanation. Instead, he went online and pointed to financial records that he claims paint a completely different picture. That move instantly turned a social media joke into a much bigger debate.
Then, next thing you know, Rick Ross like, yeah, I could just take this. Can you imagine me smacking him with $1 million ring? And then Fat Joe tell him again, bro, you doing too much, you reaching, that's not what I'm talking about. You creating some shit that's not here. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about 50 Cent. Next thing you know, he get to saying, yeah, what's the black motherfucker with the two-tone, his forehead a different color? Talking about Uncle Murder. But then when 50 Cent reply, y'all gonna say 50 Cent bullying. Y'all drop a comment, let me know what y'all thinking if y'all seen that.
In this video, we're taking a closer look at the documents 50 shared, the growing questions surrounding Ross's financial situation, and why some people are now wondering whether his massive luxury estate could eventually face serious scrutiny. The claims have sparked plenty of discussion across social media. Rick Ross went viral after photos surfaced, showing him keeping a low profile while waiting for a commercial flight. The pictures spread crazy fast, and social media treated the moment like breaking news. Within hours, the images were everywhere, and reactions were pouring in from all directions. One of the first people to jump into the conversation was none other than 50 Cent. Ross later responded to 50, Uncle Murda, and others who were joking about him flying alongside everyday travelers. But by that point, the internet had already started picking sides, and the debate was only getting louder.
I'm deciding to your life up. I'm gonna your life up.
Would it ever happen with you and 50 sitting down having a conversation? I think the world would watch that.
The first thing I would want to know is what is there to talk about?
Is Rick Ross getting all of this money?
And when I walked in there, I told the lady, this is my house. The real estate agent was like, what do you mean?
Before Rick Ross could fully respond to the situation, the jokes were already flying in from every angle. Social media wasted no time turning the airport photos into a trending topic, and plenty of people jumped in with their own reactions. Uncle Murda was one of the first to join the conversation. He posted a video of himself being driven through an airport while traveling back to New York, making it clear he was having some fun with the situation. Many viewers saw the clip as a playful jab at the viral airport photos and the growing online discussion about commercial travel. Then Drake's fanbase stepped into the mix, and the noise got even louder. On his recent album Iceman, Drake included lyrics that many listeners believed were directed at Rick Ross and the larger-than-life image he has built throughout his career. Whether that was the intention or not, fans quickly started making connections and sharing their theories all over social media. Nobody knows if Drake expected a moment like this to happen, but online users acted like he predicted it months ahead of time. As soon as the airport photos surfaced, timelines were flooded with jokes, memes, and speculation. The conversation spread fast and kept gaining momentum. Image is a huge part of rap culture, and Ross has spent years building a brand centered around success, luxury, and big money living. He has often been linked to a private Gulfstream G550 jet, a customized aircraft featuring reflective gold lettering across a glossy black and pearl gold design. Duncan Aviation even showcased the project, and Ross publicly celebrated the finished result. That's why reports of him waiting to board a Frontier flight instantly grabbed attention and got people talking. For critics, the contrast was hard to miss.
Promised land? Promised land.
300 acres, 60,000 square feet.
It's a project. It's bigger than the projects.
Oh, it's
street projects.
Enormous.
And a couple of football fields.
That's a town. It's a town.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. I'm sorry, it's a hook organization, but that's how I'm thinking about it.
It's beyond motivating. Right. It's beyond motivating.
Yes. Oh, man. Do we make some noise for that?
Hey.
Many people online immediately pointed out the difference between Ross's luxury image and the viral airport photos. The discussion only grew louder as more users shared their opinions and reactions across social media. Adding another layer to the story, the same airline had already made headlines following a widely discussed 2024 incident in Dallas. During his ongoing feud with Drake, Ross had previously joked about that situation, which led many fans to bring those old comments back into the spotlight. With tensions from that rivalry still fresh in people's minds, the timing of this latest viral moment caught even more attention. Now, with his back and forth with Drake continuing to generate buzz online, Ross suddenly found himself facing a new wave of questions after being caught on camera at a moment many considered unfortunate. The clip spread rapidly, and social media wasted no time weighing in. The situation escalated even further when 50 Cent jumped onto Instagram and began sharing his own thoughts about Rick Ross's personal affairs. Ross wasn't interested in staying quiet and responded through his Instagram story, turning what began as a simple airport photo into a much bigger public spectacle. What really fueled the conversation was that 50 didn't limit his comments to the airport sighting alone. He tied it to other viral clips and previous criticisms he had made about Ross, including a widely discussed yacht video and several personal jabs. As more people joined the debate, the airport moment became another chapter in a feud that had already been making headlines for months. Things escalated even further when 50 Cent shared a viral yacht clip showing Ross spending time with someone wearing a green shirt, using the footage as another opportunity to throw shade at his longtime rival. The post quickly grabbed attention online and added even more fuel to an already heated back and forth. Ross responded aggressively, firing shots at both 50 Cent and Uncle Murda. In his response, Ross said, "I'ma let you know, 50, take it like a player.
What kind of rich cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass? You're trying to save money? You don't want to pay for the lawn to get cut, huh?
Let me ask you.
The AC broken in the...
Let me ask you this.
Look, ask me, do I want a problem?
No, I don't think you
I don't ever want a problem. But when they say they want a problem, I say no problem.
You had a child from a sex worker. I mean, she's a sex worker. It's so entertaining when you got with bad skin like Uncle Murda and who happy to be making your cheeseburgers on the road. The exchange made it clear that the feud had moved far beyond lighthearted jokes and social media trolling. What started as a simple viral airport photo had now transformed into a major public clash. The conversation kept growing because Ross has spent nearly 2 decades building a larger-than-life image centered around wealth, success, and luxury living. That reputation has become a huge part of his brand and public identity. Because of that, even small moments can attract major attention. When critics think they spot a gap between a celebrity's image and reality, they often jump on it immediately. That's exactly why the airport photo generated so much discussion and why the story continued spreading across social media platforms. The attention surrounding Ross isn't just about one viral picture. His career has been under the spotlight for years. Rick Ross first exploded onto the hip-hop scene in 2006 with his breakout hit Hustlin', a track that created massive industry buzz and reportedly sparked a fierce bidding war among major record labels eager to sign him. He eventually signed with Def Jam Recordings, and his debut album, Port of Miami, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. That success immediately put Rick Ross in a different lane. From the start, he had a formula that stood out from the crowd. His deep voice, larger-than-life character, and constant focus on wealth, ambition, and luxury became key parts of a brand that fans could recognize instantly. As the years went on, that formula delivered huge results. Ross went on to score 6 #1 albums on Billboard and built Maybach Music Group into one of the most recognizable labels in hip-hop. The label played a major role in helping artists such as Meek Mill and Gunplay reach larger audiences.
My jet at, I obviously didn't get the memo. It's being updated with Starlink. What Starlink is? Yeah, that's the $500,000 Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's what my jet.
Everything connected to the M brand pushed the same message: power, success, and a lifestyle that seemed almost larger than reality itself. For a long time, luxury became one of the biggest parts of Ross's public image, and fans fully embraced it. But he didn't just rap about wealth. He made sure people saw it. Whether it was private jets, exotic cars, designer fashion, or sprawling estates, Ross consistently showcased the lifestyle that became tied to his name. That visibility helped strengthen the image he had spent years building. One of his most talked about purchases was the former mansion of boxing legend Evander Holyfield. Rather than simply owning the property, Ross reportedly found ways to turn it into a business opportunity by allowing major film productions, including Coming to America and Superfly, to use the estate as a filming location. That move attracted attention because it appeared to transform a massive property expense into a potential source of revenue. Ross continued making headlines through a series of major real estate deals. Reports linked him to a $37 million mansion on Miami's exclusive Star Island, along with the purchase of Meek Mill's former Atlanta estate. His real estate portfolio also includes the legendary 109-room Fayetteville, Georgia mansion once owned by Holyfield. With properties like these, Ross further reinforced the luxury image that has followed him throughout his career. And that's a big reason why recent discussions about his finances have drawn so much attention. Rick Ross has been linked to an eye-catching collection of vehicles, including a Ferrari 488 Spider, Ferrari 458 Italia, Lamborghini Murcielago, and a 2024 Tesla Cybertruck. Over the years, cars have become a major part of the luxury image he presents to fans. That's exactly why the recent airport photo sparked so much attention online. When someone spends nearly 2 decades building a brand around success, wealth, and high-end living, even a single unexpected moment can trigger a huge reaction across social media.
And I chose to fly commercial to Colombia to go party with Trick Daddy and Ball Greasy at the Escape the States. Better stop worrying about what rich niggas doing. Shit, if I send my jet to go pick my mama up and I fly motherfucking commercial, that's what I do for mama.
His luxury lifestyle extends far beyond music. Ross has also been linked to an ultra-rare Rolls-Royce reportedly valued at around $5 million, featuring a diamond-inspired eye ornament and a custom golden owl hood mascot. Stories about his vehicle collection have become almost legendary, with reports claiming he owns roughly 120 cars. The collection is so large that many people compare it to a private museum rather than a personal garage. That image has helped strengthen Ross's reputation as one of hip-hop's biggest symbols of luxury living.
If I send a jet to go drop off, I walk for mama. Just so that shit y'all on, I miss that. So y'all laughing at the young niggas who on martyr? You can't do that. Damn sure you can't laugh at a rich nigga. When Ricky Rose take flights is 6 digits.
For years, fans have followed his purchases and business moves closely, making every new headline a topic of discussion. But Ross's wealth isn't connected only to expensive cars and luxury items. One of his most successful business ventures has been Wingstop. He opened his first location in Memphis back in 2011 and later expanded his franchise portfolio into multiple markets across the country. That move helped establish another major source of income outside the music industry. Ross has stated that his Wingstop businesses generate millions of dollars annually, giving him a strong revenue stream beyond recording and touring. In addition, he has been associated with investments in brands such as Luke Belaire and McQueen and the Violet Fog. Through these ventures, Ross has built a business portfolio that stretches far beyond the recording studio and adds another layer to the empire he has spent years creating. Over the years, Rick Ross kept expanding his resume with books, hit albums, live performances, endorsement deals, and major business ventures. Each new move helped reinforce the image of someone operating at the highest level of success. That's a big reason why the commercial flight photo generated such a powerful reaction online. The debate wasn't really about air travel itself. It was about public perception and the image Ross has spent years building.
I come from like a place where you have to be ready. Don't get ready, you gotta be ready, right?
For a long time, Ross has positioned himself as a symbol of luxury living, so seeing him in a typical airport setting surprised many people. Social media quickly lit up with reactions, jokes, and endless commentary. And when it came to capitalizing on the moment, few people moved faster than 50 Cent. Their rivalry has been one of the most talked about feuds in hip-hop history, filled with diss tracks, social media shots, business disagreements, and countless public exchanges. The tension between the two artists has stretched across more than a decade, creating a long history that fans know very well. Over the years, both sides have traded criticism over music careers, business moves, and personal disputes. 50 has also developed a reputation for jumping into trending conversations whenever a viral moment involves one of his rivals. Because of that history, many fans weren't surprised when he quickly weighed in on the airport situation. At one point, Ross even discussed the possibility of purchasing 50 Cent's music masters after online jokes surrounding the Bow Wow tour gained attention. That history added another layer to the rivalry. So, when the airport photo exploded across social media, 50 didn't need to invent a new storyline. He simply used an already existing feud and pushed it right back into the center of the conversation, where it immediately started generating even more buzz. For fans watching from the sidelines, this became another wild chapter in one of hip-hop's most well-known rivalries.
I'm going to get some pneumonia. But don't you ever look down on no young hustlers who, if they walking, if they riding a bicycle, if they riding on the train, don't you ever look down on those young hustlers going to get some money.
The tension between 50 Cent and Rick Ross had been building long before the airport photo ever appeared online. By the time the image went viral, both artists were already locked into a public back and forth that had been generating headlines for weeks. Long before people started debating commercial flights, 50 was regularly taking shots at Ross across social media. One of the biggest moments came when a viral yacht video showed Ross spending time with a woman wearing a green shirt. 50 quickly shared the clip and used it as another opportunity to comment on Ross's personal life, which immediately sparked more discussion online. Ross later addressed the situation during an Instagram live session, explaining that the woman was believed to be Jasmine Kendrick, a realtor and content creator who had been seen around him before. However, by the time that response arrived, the conversation had already spread across social media platforms and taken on a life of its own. That's a major reason why the airport photo made such a big impact when it finally surfaced. It didn't appear in isolation. Instead, it landed right in the middle of an ongoing feud where tensions were already high and fans were closely following every new development. The timing couldn't have been more dramatic.
Don't you ever talk about these young entrepreneurs if they was flying first class, coach, economy, or private. I flew that shit for 20 years before I went and spent a 40 ball. And when I say that, I mean 40 million on a plane. But don't y'all ever talk down on no young hustlers that's going to get it. I don't care if you young hustlers driving Uber.
At the same time, some of Drake's supporters were taking their own shots at Ross, while figures like Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda publicly backed 50 Cent. With multiple voices jumping into the conversation, the story kept growing larger and larger. The airport sighting eventually became about much more than a travel choice. For critics, it was another moment to question whether the luxury image Ross had spent years building was as untouchable as it seemed. As more people joined the debate, the viral photo transformed into another major talking point in an already heated public feud. Ross responded by turning the attention back toward 50 Cent, bringing up personal matters and suggesting that 50 should focus more on his own life instead of constantly weighing in on other people's situations. The exchange showed just how personal their rivalry had become, but it also revealed something important about the way 50 approaches these public disputes.
Niggas think that it's an opportunity to create energy or like a excitement for the actual release of their record. And I understand that it may be more attention than you usually get, but it'll be the kind of attention that when it goes away, you go away. The company, the system might actually feel like it's a good idea for the moment until they realize that I won't stop. There's nobody in control of me. I'm deciding to fuck your life up. I'ma fuck your life up for fun. This is not new. I do this all the time.
He wasn't simply joking about a single airport appearance. Instead, he connected the viral photo to a broader storyline that had been developing for quite some time. In his view, the commercial flight image fit into a larger discussion that critics had already been having about Ross's finances, business ventures, and overall public image. Because of that, the airport photo became more than just a picture. It turned into a symbol that some critics pointed to while revisiting previous financial headlines and public conversations surrounding Ross's business empire. What might have been a brief viral moment suddenly became part of a much larger debate. Ross, however, argued that flying private isn't always the most practical or financially sensible choice. He suggested that commercial travel can sometimes be the smarter option depending on the circumstances. From a business perspective, that's a completely reasonable explanation, and one that many people could understand.
We ain't hired like Rick Ross in the airport neither. It's all good. Heading back to New York. Let's go Knicks. Let's go.
The challenge is that social media doesn't always leave room for detailed explanations. When two major rap figures are involved in a long-running feud, online conversations often become driven by quick reactions, jokes, and assumptions rather than careful analysis. In those situations, perception can carry more weight than context. What made the airport photo so explosive wasn't necessarily the flight itself. It was what the image appeared to represent to both supporters and critics. Ross has spent nearly 2 decades building a brand associated with visible success, luxury, and larger-than-life achievements. Once people begin questioning any part of that image, every detail starts attracting attention. According to 50 Cent, the airport photo wasn't the entire story. He presented it as the latest piece of a conversation that had already been circulating for a while, which is why the image generated so much discussion the moment it surfaced online. The airport photo arrived at a time when questions about Rick Ross's finances had already surfaced more than once over the years, and that's a big reason why critics focused on it so heavily. For many observers, the image wasn't just about travel. It reopened discussions that had been circulating for a long time.
Drake, if you listening to this, homie, listen to me. My nigga shine. I don't want to see you lose. No real nigga want to see you lose. That ain't what nigga about. This culture, this game, this rap shit, this ain't what it's about. I don't want to see you lose. When I was the number one nigga in the rap game, I showed niggas love.
One of the most widely reported financial stories involving Ross emerged in 2016, when reports claimed he owed the IRS approximately $5.7 million in unpaid taxes related to the years 2012 through 2014. According to those reports, the largest share of the balance was linked to 2012, while additional amounts were tied to the years that followed. Ross later addressed the situation and reportedly said the issue stemmed from an incorrect tax filing handled during that period. Public records showed tax liens connected to the matter, and various reports stated that Ross eventually paid more than $4.6 million toward resolving a substantial portion of the debt. By 2018, reports indicated that the situation had been settled, bringing an end to what was undoubtedly a costly financial chapter. Even after the matter was reportedly resolved, the headlines continued to follow him. Financial stories involving taxes tend to attract attention, especially when they involve someone whose public image is strongly connected to business success, luxury living, and wealth. Because Ross has spent years promoting that image, the reports remained a frequent topic of discussion among both fans and critics. Then, years later, another tax-related issue generated fresh headlines. Reports surfaced claiming that the Georgia Department of Revenue had filed a tax execution against Ross related to an unpaid balance from a previous tax year. According to public reporting, the original amount involved was relatively modest. However, interest, penalties, and collection fees reportedly caused the balance to increase over time.
Would it ever happen with you and 50 sitting down having a conversation? I think the world would watch that.
The first thing I would want to know is, what is there to talk about?
This is a big business you guys are a part of. You guys are two of the heavyweights in the business.
I mean, what is there to talk about?
A lot of things to talk about. History, the beef.
What kind of history? That he couldn't dress? That's all I used to tell him. Yo, you can't dress. You're not really getting no money. You don't own your masters.
As those stories resurfaced online, critics began revisiting older financial headlines and connecting them to newer discussions. That's part of the reason why moments like the viral airport photo attracted so much attention. Many people viewed them through the lens of financial questions that had already been debated for years. At the center of the discussion wasn't necessarily the size of the debt itself. What grabbed people's attention was the contrast between the headlines and the image Rick Ross has spent years building. Ross is widely known for talking about business ownership, investing, entrepreneurship, and creating long-term wealth. Because of that, any financial headline connected to him naturally attracts extra scrutiny. On paper, a tax bill of that size may appear relatively small compared to the level of wealth often associated with Ross. However, public perception doesn't always focus on raw numbers. More often, people react to headlines, patterns, and the stories that develop around them. Once a narrative starts gaining traction online, it can take on a life of its own. That's one reason the airport photo connected with so many critics. The image surfaced at a time when some people were already revisiting older financial stories and debating whether Ross's luxury-focused brand accurately reflected reality. Fair or unfair, once those conversations begin, nearly every public appearance becomes subject to closer examination and endless online discussion. For longtime rivals such as 50 Cent, those headlines also created another opportunity to revisit old criticisms and shift attention back toward Ross's financial history rather than his music catalog or business achievements.
Eminem saved you, Dr. Dre saved you, all the big names. Rose did it himself. I came in through slip and slide. I had to build this myself. And I'm not speaking down on him because he live in a 2-bedroom apartment, but
He lives in a 2-bedroom apartment?
2-bedroom. Catch the alley hoop now. You gotta win by out this bitch.
Apartment.
Yes, he does. And if he does, what does that say about him? Come on now, just the alley hoop.
The feud added another layer to a story that was already generating plenty of reactions across social media. One detail that many people found interesting is that Rick Ross had actually discussed flying commercial years before the viral airport photo ever surfaced. During Revolt's Assets Over Liabilities series in 2021, Ross spoke about some of his personal wealth-building habits and explained that he sometimes chose commercial flights when they made financial sense. He also emphasized the importance of controlling expenses and making practical business decisions, showing that his views on travel had been publicly stated long before the recent controversy. So if Rick Ross chose to fly commercial instead of spending extra money to maintain a luxury appearance, that alone wouldn't necessarily suggest financial problems. In fact, many successful and wealthy people are known for making practical, cost-conscious decisions when it benefits their long-term financial goals. Looking at it from that perspective, commercial travel can simply be another business-minded choice. The challenge for Ross is that he spent years building a larger-than-life image centered around private jets, sprawling mansions, luxury vehicles, and constant displays of success. Because that image became such a major part of his brand, the viral airport photo immediately stood out to many people online. By the time the image spread across social media, the financial advice Ross had shared in previous interviews was largely overshadowed by the expectations attached to his public persona.
Still looking for real estate? Am I still looking for property investment, so on and so forth? Of course, brother. We ain't gonna never stop doing that. I've won on every piece of real estate I have, even though I didn't get into it to flip it, and no, I just got them and copped them. I still got them.
Many critics focused on the visual contrast rather than the explanation behind it, which helped keep the story trending for days. At the same time, other headlines were adding more attention to the conversation. Reports indicated that Boss Wings Enterprises, a company owned by members of Ross's family, faced more than $100,000 in penalties following a Department of Labor investigation involving several restaurant locations in Mississippi. According to officials, employees were reportedly charged certain work-related costs that should not have been deducted, leading to additional scrutiny and online discussion. Ross was also dealing with legal challenges connected to his 2024 car show in Florida. A lawsuit filed by attendee Darius Strouder alleged that promised accessibility accommodations were not properly provided during the event. According to the complaint, some attendees with mobility needs reportedly experienced difficulties accessing transportation and other services that had been advertised. The allegations attracted attention because the car show had been promoted as one of Ross's biggest annual events. Viewed individually, each headline tells a separate story. But when critics looked at all of them together, they saw a broader narrative that fueled even more discussion about Ross's business operations, public image, and overall brand. That's why the airport photo became far more than just an image of someone waiting to catch a flight. The debate was never really about a boarding gate, an airline ticket, or even flying commercial. Instead, it became a larger conversation about perception, reputation, and whether a public image matches the headlines that appear behind the scenes.
I bought a crib that the homie Amari Stoudemire sold. I still haven't slept in that bitch once. But guess what? The value is, I could sell that same house for possibly maybe $3 million more than I purchased it for. And when I walked in there, I told the lady, this is my house. The real estate agent was like, "What?"
To be fair, none of these reports prove that Rick Ross is broke or that his business empire isn't legitimate. What they did do was provide fresh talking points for longtime rivals like 50 Cent and others who were already engaged in a highly public feud. Once the airport photo went viral, it quickly became another piece of a much bigger discussion that had been building for years. When 50 Cent, Uncle Murda, Drake supporters, and countless social media users started reacting to the image, they weren't focused on a single moment alone. Many people connected the photo to previous financial headlines, legal disputes, business controversies, and ongoing online debates that had already been circulating long before the airport sighting surfaced. And in today's social media world, once a narrative catches momentum, it can spread at lightning speed. Sometimes the conversation grows so fast that opinions form before all the facts are fully understood. So now the question is yours. Was the airport photo completely overblown by social media? Or do you think it raised fair questions about Rick Ross's public image and business empire? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates, controversies, and breaking stories from the world of hip-hop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.